The All Blacks have recently announced their side that will be taking on Uruguay for their final group stage match before the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. And to no surprise, the All Blacks have made quite a few changes here, resting some big players and also given some opportunities to other players who haven't had that many throughout the World Cup. But we will start with the front row. It is number 1, Ofa Toingafasi, number 2, Cody Taylor, and number 3, Tyrell Lomax. So 2 out of the 3 keeping their spot in the starting side. And then Tyrell Lomax, rather than coming off the bench like he did in the last game up against the Italians, will now get himself the start. At number 4, it is Sam Whitelock, bringing up his 150th cap for the All Blacks. A massive achievement for him, playing at 4 rather than the 5 in this game, because number 5, they have gone with Tupavai, which does mean that they are resting Brodie Retallick. Scott Barrett, instead of starting, will be coming off the bench. Looking through at the loose forward trio, it is Shannon Frizzell at number 6. Number 7, they have gone with Sam Cane, so he did return from his injury last week. Now gets that opportunity for his first start since that injury. We'll be hoping to have a good showing here. Number 8, they have gone with Luke Jacobson, a man who has received a limited number of minutes throughout this Rugby World Cup. Resting Artie Savia, though, does mean that Jacobson gets a crack at number 8. The 9-10 combo for the first time in this Rugby World Cup. It will be Cam Roigard at 9 with Richie Mo'unga at number 10. Now, of course, we've already seen Roigard and McKenzie as one combo. We've seen Aaron Smith and Richie Mo'unga as another. This time, a little bit of both. Cam Roigard already scoring himself 2 tries in that game up against Namibia. Richie Mo'unga extremely accurate off the kicking tee. Could be a very exciting combo. Number 11, they have gone with Lester Whainaunuku, so no sign of Mark Talia this week. In the midfield combination, it will be Geordie Barrett at number 12 and number 13, Anton Leonard-Brown. So Rieko Ioane, the player who misses out there, unfortunately didn't have the best game up against the Italians. Barrett, though, he played phenomenally, coming back from his injury, looking strong, looking like one of those keys in the AB's backline. Number 14, they have gone with Will Jordan once more. And then at number 15, it is Damian McKenzie. So deciding against going with Beauden Barrett in the starting lineup. And this will be the first time in the World Cup that has happened. Steve finds himself coming off the bench. But looking through at the reserves, number 16, Samisoni Taukei'aho. A lot of people thought that he would get the start in this game up against Uruguay. Number 17, Tamaiti Williams. Same can be said about that man. And then number 18, they have gone with Fletcher Null. Number 19, Scott Barrett. And number 20, the injury replacement for Imoni Narawa. It is Ethan Blackadder. So quite a few Crusaders players making their way off the bench in this contest up against Uruguay. But Blackadder, he's a workhorse. I assume he could come on for Sam Cane in this fixture. Maybe even Shannon Frizzell, depending on who needs to be taken off. They've also got Barrett as their loose forward trio cover. Worst comes to worst. So the ABs should be fine in that regard. Number 21, it is Finley Christie, a man who hasn't had a huge amount of game time throughout this Rugby World Cup, has been out of form, but we'll be hoping to find it here for some possible minutes in the playoff games. Number 22, Beauden Barrett, and then number 23 to close out the side for the All Blacks, it is Caleb Clark, but they will be going head-to-head with Uruguay, 8 a.m. on Friday morning. We are covering that game on the channel. It is a must-win for the All Blacks, and if they do win this game, then France versus Italy becomes the decider. That will be taking place on Saturday morning, and then we will know exactly who is making their way through to the quarterfinals. But do let me know what you think of the starting lineup and reserves for the All Blacks in the comments down below. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.